Colleen and I approve them too, so all
Okay.
three of us will approve.
Okay,
I got the time sheet for Colleen, and that's ending May 4th, 2024, and it's the normal 70-hour hours for the 2 weeks. Are we okay with that?
I'm good
Yes.
with that.
Lee?
Yep, all set, thank you.
I am too, Colleen, so that's approved.
okay,
The next one we have is money turnover to the treasurer, and it's, for us, this period is $995. That comes from $75 from Board of Health permit, $170 from Board of Health licenses. And that there's and $750 from Board of Health fees. That totals the $995. Are we set with that?
Yes.
That's good.
I am too, Colleen, so that's approved.
okay,
The next one, I'm going to skip over the next one, which is Hart Catering Concessions, and come back to it at the end. The next one is for 2 licenses for Tammy and Steven Sapowski at Sapowski Farm. One is a license to sell retail food. The other is a license to sell milk and cream for this year. They're both renewal. How are we with those?
Okay. Yep,
Lee?
I'm fine on that.
Bill, how about you?
Yeah, those are fine, Dick.
I am too, Colleen, so they're both approved.
okay,
The next one is I got a little out of thing. I'm gonna skip well, we can. We'll do the well permit application. It's back for 43 West State Street, Connecticut Valley Artesian Well. We asked to have information on this, the actual engineering information on this one, an engineering proposal for the well, and what we got was just the well driller coming back and saying, I want to put the well there. Do we consider that they met what we required to put in this well?
What I read was that they confirmed Subway was on the city system. My concern was the other 2 buildings at the old Suzuki office and boat building, which is now under a new owner. And I didn't see that question was addressed.
I didn't
Whether
see
those-
that anybody with an engineering license has made a statement that there are no septic systems, there's nothing that stores the contamination for this well within the 150 feet that actually that Title V says they're supposed to be doing for, at least for septic systems. But Bill, what are you thinking?
Dick, this is Michael Petrus's project.
I don't know whose it is. We haven't got that. We don't have a letter.
I think the seal on the drawing was Mike Petrus from Ludlow.
But the drawing that I get, I can't, the scale is so far out of whack for me. That and it looks like it's a scan. It's not sent through with a.
Well, Colleen,
I can't read it.
when did you send that sketch? I looked at it a couple of weeks ago. When did you send it again, please?
Must have been right after the last meeting because I told them what you were looking for and then they sent, yeah, I thought they had a statement too. I don't know if I have it.
Well,
with me.
this is 43 West State Street,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah,
Okay, let me look at it again. I got it on the computer. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna zoom in here with a magnifier. Stand by. Yeah, this is land engineering and land solutions. This is Michael Petrus's business. And I would recommend give him a call, invite him to our next meeting to explain. Yeah, MP, designed by MP. That's Mike Petrus. That's his business.
Okay.
He should know better. He's the agent for the health department in Ludlow. Or he had been.
My concern is we're not dealing with an engineer on this well application, and a pretty complicated area with engineering drawings. You can't tell what's new, what's existing, what proposals are. And you had a well guy that's saying, "Hey, let me put the well in." So I think.
Well, who's the well? Who's the well driller that's involved? Joseph Dilk Jr.?
I believe so, Colleen.
Yeah,
isn't it?
all right, well, tell Joe Dilk to attend the meeting or have his representative, which is probably gonna be Petrus, to attend the meeting, but like you say, I agree with you guys. Insufficient
Chris
information
Abbott.
right now.
yeah. Chris Abbott is handling it from Connecticut Valley.
Yeah, but you want someone that's licensed to talk to. You don't want a third party guy.
Mhm.
Well, but they should know
Mhm.
we're gonna be coming back saying we want the engineering information associated with this, not a well guy saying, "Hey, I looked at these drawings and I'm gonna put it there." So it goes
Yeah.
back to the, I guess the protocol is still is what you're saying, is that it's the well guy that we're gonna say, "Look, you're not supplying the right information. We
Right.
need the engineering information." But to save everybody a couple weeks, that we could be telling the well guy, "We need your engineer involved." That's what we're gonna be telling you. And that saves everybody a couple weeks.
Well, that's right. That's gonna save at least one other meeting. So I'm just trying to expedite this for these people.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so for the next meeting, you want the engineer that did this drawing? Is that
Well,
what you're
that's
saying?
what we're gonna be telling,
No,
we-
but you gotta ask the applicant to have, because the engineer is
Yeah.
gonna wanna get paid, so he's
Yeah.
gonna have to work for Connecticut Valley. So ask Connecticut Valley to have his engineer to attend our meeting, because they're gonna have to contract for the engineer to get paid for his time.
Sure,
right.
Because
So we're not, at this point, we're only dealing with the applicant.
right, that's right,
Still the same.
that's right.
Okay, so that's what we're doing with that. The next
Okay.
one is, Lee can probably answer. This is Lot 1 Morgan Street, the certificate of compliance, new construction. It's a Bob Sheehan design. It looks like, Lee, that you've inspected it and it's okay.
Oh, yeah, that was the second new house on Morgan off of the Tromke parcel, but it's all fine.
Are you okay with that, Bill?
Yeah, if you guys inspected it, that's fine, no worries.
I am too, Colleen, so that's approved. You can sign that one
okay.
for us. The next, I guess we can go back, see what time it is. It's 12 after 7. I don't see Lynn here. So let us assume we'll keep going.
I'm here.
You
Oh,
are, Lynn.
that's Lynn. That's Lynn. Sorry.
Okay, then it's your time. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I've went on a trip. I just got back. I'm trying to catch up on things and plugging away at it.
Okay. Any surprises for us, or do you have any
No,
items that you need
No,
help from us?
I don't at this moment. I'm just, I've had a lot of, it's interesting because when the letters went out about labeling and all that, I've had a lot of phone calls. So I've been trying to deal with that. Well, I've been reaching out to them and they're reaching out to me to get more clarification, which is a good thing. Breezy Acres, for one thing, she really wants to know what is to be done. So I'm going to meet with her and go over it because she's a little confused. And so I'm going to, you know, clarify any questions she has or whatever and see where we're at. And just, you know, doing my thing. Nothing really much to report, but I just wanted to say I'm back.
I hope you had a good trip.
I did. I went to Portugal. It was a great trip.
Oh, wow.
Good.
Excellent, excellent.
Good.
Yeah, it was fun. 2 weeks.
Very
I've never taken a 2-week vacation, so it was good.
Is that your first time in Portugal?
No, I'm actually from Portugal, so I grew up going to Portugal, but it's
Oh, okay.
been 20. Yeah, it's been 24 years since I've been there, so it was great to go back and take my sons with me. They've never been.
Very
So,
neat, very neat, very neat.
yeah.
That's
Week
great.
It was cool.
vacation is really something. When I first did it, I didn't do it till late in my career, and it was unbelievable. The difference that I would drive my wife crazy on a 1 week vacation and take 2 days to unwind, and then you've got 2 days before you say, "Oh, it's coming back." So
Exactly. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's so true. That's how I felt. Yeah.
yeah, but going in for that 2 weeks makes it so that the first 2 days almost don't happen because you just
Yeah.
say, "Oh, I got this big time," and then you kind of
Yeah.
lose track of time.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Right,
really
that's
do.
right. That's right. You get settled in. Of course, then you don't want to go home at the end.
I know. If it wasn't for my dog, I would have stayed.
Okay.
All right. So I just
So-
want to touch base. So yeah, everything's going well. So
Okay.
I'll probably have more for you in the next time because I'm gonna start hitting it this weekend again and doing the rest of the inspections that I need to do.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
then have a good
Have a
night.
good night.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
too. Thank you.
Thanks,
Talk to
Lynn.
you
Thank you.
later.
Bye.
Bye.
I have got Hart's Catering Concessions.
Yep,
That is-
that's me. I just joined.
Okay. And what we have is we do have the application. We've got we actually have an agreement with Jim Crompke saying he's the home base while they're there, while Hart's there. And as we've said, that doesn't really tell us anything. Then we've got what we had at the last meeting was a statement or a contract cover sheet with the base agreement operation, and that one was with a Serve Food Kitchen. And now this time we've got I think it's about 10 pages, maybe more than
Yeah,
that.
I accidentally only sent the page that I signed rather than the entire
Yeah.
agreement. So
Yeah.
I sent the entire agreement.
Right, and that's from Serve Food Kitchen Facility Membership Agreement. And as I read it, what it says is that once again, while you're in the kitchen, they're supplying an inspected kitchen. And you basically rent the kitchen for the time you need it, and other people rent the kitchen, and they're saying if you don't keep the kitchen up, you get fined by them.
Yep.
And they're going to try to keep the kitchen up to snuff, but again, it's really not a base of operation. If you were to look at the food that you use, this agreement would indicate you carry your food in and you carry your food out. So basically, it is a kitchen, a rental kitchen.
Yeah. So they have a full blown kitchen in Holyoke that they rent out to people like me who have food trucks, so we can use the facility to do any prep needed, dishes, and just have a base of operation for us to go out and operate on the road and everything like that as well. So, like the agreement says, he charges by the hour. So I have the agreement written there, and I also in progress. How he operates there is he has every person do their own inspection for their own business there. So my inspection is due with the town, that town in 2 days. They're gonna come and look at the kitchen and just give me an inspection report for my business in that kitchen, because he doesn't really like the way he operates is he just basically says like it's your business, you operate out of this kitchen, you have to get your own permits and do your own thing with it, you're just paying to use it on his end. So I'm due in 2 days to get an inspection report from that town for the kitchen, but I rent the space and that's where I'm going to be doing all my prep work.
Yeah, my issue, and Lee and Bill, this is just what I read was concerned with, is that this isn't like a certified kitchen in your house that includes storage, especially storage. So if, for instance, if you took your hot dogs that you're going to use, or I just use hot dogs because they're not even the thing you use, but let's say your hot dogs, and you stored them in your back of your garage at home or kept them in the back of your trunk, this rental kitchen doesn't cover that at all. And that's
They do.
important. You store your food there?
Well, they do have storage there. They have refrigeration and they have dry pantry and stuff like that. You get your own lock for your own space.
You've got refrigeration and that's locked, and a freezer and a refrigerator that you.
As of right now, I don't, because I haven't been operating, but my plan was to, yes, rent a refrigeration there. And for what I'm doing for like, usually I just do fairs. Like I was at the Charter Day Fair the last 2 years. But like things I was planning on doing for this year was just like really small, like things at wineries and like breweries and stuff like that. So my plan was to just only get the food I needed for that day anyways, and prep it and then go and sell it for the day. But they do have storage at that kitchen that I'm able to rent and use for when I need it.
And does that get inspected as well?
Yeah, the whole kitchen's gonna get inspected.
Dick, did you read this serve food agreement carefully?
I did.
So Miss Mosier, this is Bill Shaheen. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So you're carrying $1 million liability insurance?
I am.
Okay, have you produced that certificate to the Board of Health?
I'm not sure if I have, but I've done it in the past, I think for Charter Day, but I can easily produce it. I just sent it to the Serve Food as well. They asked for one as well.
Okay, I think that'd be good. Dick, did you see the 17B liability clause?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So Serve Food is clearly out of, if anything bad happens, Serve Food is not liable for anything,
Right.
essentially.
That's what it says.
So that's why Miss Mosier has the $1 million GCL policy. That's a good thing. And again, I'm just taking a quick peek at this.
Yeah.
Like you say, Dick, the concern I'd have is one user to the next. If one user has raw chicken on the deck there and they don't sanitize it or bleach it after they're done, and the next person goes in there and doesn't realize there was raw chicken on the counter, that could pose a bit of a problem. I'm just wondering how that gets worked out.
So
Well,
we have a system.
fine.
sorry, there's an online system where we where we like schedule our time there. It's open 24 hours a day, the kitchen.
Okay,
And so we can block out our time on this online forum that he sends us. So I can see when other people are in the kitchen. And so if the kitchen's like full, I can go in. I can go in at the middle of the night if I want to. It's open 24/7. I just put it in the calendar that I'm going to be in there for that time. And you know what? Once I'm in there for myself, obviously I'm gonna sanitize and clean everything just before I even start, just to make sure everything's good to go.
okay,
But that's how we keep it separate between people who rent the kitchen.
okay. That's good to hear. I'm glad. So you sanitize it before you go in, and then when you leave, you sanitize it again?
Yeah, just make sure everything's clean and everything's good to go for the
Okay,
next person.
okay. All right, that's good.
So,
Thank you.
as part of your business, are you Serve Safe certified personally?
I am. I have the manager's serve safe.
Yeah, we have that, yeah.
The two documents are provided. We have to either say, no, this doesn't work, or yes, it does work. We owe a decision on this. My concern was the storage, and if that's covered, and as Bill brought up, that's the sanitation, that you can certainly walk into a kitchen that looks clean, that has stainless counters that are really contaminated badly. But if the way that you're going to run your kitchen is that you're going to clean it before you use it, then it deals with that. My proposal is that we let this, when we grant this license, and let Lynn do her normal inspection, but Lynn won't be doing the base of operation inspection. Lynn, although she may, as the Hoyle Board
Right,
of
she
Health
works out of
person.
Hoyle primarily. Yeah.
I can
you're
give
right
you
about
guys
that.
the inspection report. It's in 2 days once I get it from Holyoke, if you'd like.
I would
And then I can let you know
include it.
when and then I can let you know when my first event is with my trailer in Granby, so you can come out and inspect the trailer.
So what are we gonna do, Lee and
When
Bill?
when you have these events at different wineries, do you hire workout, or are you always on site?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
When there's an event, are you there start to finish personally running the show, or do you hire out help?
No, it's me running it.
Okay.
Hmm,
All right,
That's
thank
good.
you.
Good to know.
I'm always the one. I'm always there.
Good. I'm good, Dick.
So I think we should let this go and see how it works. It sounds like we've done our due diligence to say we think it's going to be run safely, and then it's a different model, business model, but that doesn't mean it can't work. So I'm on board. I think we should grant this permit. Lee, what is your thought?
No, I would agree.
Yeah,
Okay.
and again, just make it subject to the issuance or a copy of the $1 million general liability policy to Colleen.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely do. Do you want the
Okay.
copy, the one that I sent with the serve safe listed as a certificate holder, or do you just want like a general one?
No, with the cert holder, that would be better. Yeah, that would be good. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no problem.
So we've got that. The next at 7:25. I don't see Jim Crompton here, and he was due at 7:25.
I've been here.
Oh, you
Right here.
are? I don't
course
see
I
a picture of you, but,
I'm on the phone.
okay. Jim, I think the reason we asked is that you and I out at the business talked about it some, but it was definitely a, a result of a complaint. But we also said you had promised us that you were gonna get back to us with some kind of plan about, with a milestones or something that says this is how we're gonna get to the point that we've got working toilet. And we said, gee, this would be a good time for you to talk to us.
Well, you gave me until June 1st, but as you know, he did a perk test. The engineer's working on the design. And by June 1st, I hope to have the whole package in front of you with a schedule. The design to a schedule for you to know how it's gonna be implemented.
What the board doesn't know, Jim, because of the open meeting laws, and it doesn't allow us to talk, any of us, to talk with each other outside the meeting, because as soon as we, unlike your board, that's got lots of members, with ours, with 3 members, as soon as 2 of us talk, it's a quorum, and it
Yep.
ends up being an open meeting law violation. So in this case, what Bill and Lee don't know is that the issue with the lighting and which was the real reason we were having you come in, was the complaint. As Jim explained to me, it's the one time the lights didn't work, and that it is lit.
Yeah, that could
And,
happen in any type of restroom. A light goes out, especially with
Yeah.
these crazy ones they're making you put in that are motion detectors. But yeah, the light was out. She came in, the individual came in and complained. We took care of it, and evidently they felt the need to report. Not sure how a light outage becomes a Board of Health issue, but nonetheless. And we're
That's
working
where-
on permanent. I promised I would.
Yeah. The other thing is just in passing, when I was out there, and Jim said something that wasn't exactly his intent, I think, is correct, but in reality, when he said we did a perk test, we didn't. What happens is Jim explained to me that his plan right now is and Neil Jackson said their plan is to put a 2,000-gallon pipe tank in, and so what they're really doing was trying to see water table and to make sure connections are right and ballast is correct. So so it wasn't actually a perk test; it was water table determination.
Okay.
And
That's not.
Dick, I got a disclosure to make. A friend of mine took me out for a glass of wine last Friday. She didn't
You
tell
went
me
there.
she didn't tell me where we were going. We ended up at the wine house. Jim, I was impressed with the facility. I really was.
Well, thanks.
I was very impressed with the
But what about
layout
the
is nice. Again, a clean layout, real nice setup. Nice setup. And when you get the toilet situation ironed out, it's going to be even better. So congratulations.
Yeah. For what
Thank
I was going to continue saying though is that I looked at the porta potties that Jim has, and getting to them, it's basically in the front of the building, the front and side. It's not like people have to walk around out in the back through the grass and a pasture to get to these toilets. They're very accessible.
Right.
And
That's intense.
I was envisioning a dark, grassy, muddy path with no lights out into the pasture that's around there, and it's anything but that. It's certainly it's something that I would hope that Jim's patrons can deal with until he gets this thing done. And yes, Jim, we did give you to June 1st, and if it weren't for this complaint, that you wouldn't be here.
I get it. So these are my contracted parkers. They come in every week or as called, as needed, and pump them.
Okay,
But more importantly, we clean them daily. My
okay.
staff cleans daily.
And
It's not like
Jim,
it's not a
yeah, out of the three, one of them have a sink, or all three of them have a sink?
No, they have. I have a portable sink, but they have the solution.
Oh, I see. Okay, I gotcha. You got the sanitizer in the other two units. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Again, I was impressed with
Larry,
the
just
with the setup.
as a point of reference, when you're standing in the site, unlike when you're being a patron, Phil, when you're there as a Board of Health guy, talking to the owner and talking to him about his desired clientele and his business philosophy, it's very, very obvious that Jim is making a huge attempt to have people feel just the way you said you felt. And that, as it turns out, that Jim told me that a majority of his clients are women, oftentimes groups of women that are, groups of women, not mixed groups. And so he's very, very aware that that the image that he projects for cleanliness and safety is very, very important to developing that clientele. So, and when you're there, at off times, not when you were there.
Right. And again, behind the metal
It's very, very obvious that's the way this place is being run.
yeah, behind the metal building, Jim, that patio work is terrific. It's a beautiful patio setup out back.
Well, thank you. Yep.
Yeah, very, very nice. Very impressed.
We've been getting a lot of compliments, and I've been to several wineries. They all start off with the porta potties until they see how things are going, and it's a farm. It's
Yep.
I don't want the porta potties there, but we're working our way towards improving the place every step of the way.
Okay, Jim, thank you for coming to see us
Right.
tonight.
Thanks, James.
So we're gonna
Okay.
expect to hear back from you in a few weeks.
Yeah, as soon as Neil's done with that, we'll present, or he'll present.
Okay. Good night, Jim.
All right.
Take
Good
it
night.
easy.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
The next person that we have on the agenda is Nick Volkman.
Hi there. I'm calling from out of country. I want to first make sure that you're able to hear me because my connection does seem to be pretty spotty.
Yep, loud and clear in Massachusetts.
Excellent. Well, please let me know if I am breaking up, but I'll keep my fingers crossed that the connection holds.
Okay.
Now, Nick, before you start, Colleen was good enough to send us each a copy of the Title V inspection report for that property. And I reviewed it. It certainly it's a system that I think it's 2000 was installed. It was designed by John Kopinski, who is a civil engineer PE. The system I think was installed in 2008.
Yes.
It is definitely a modern pump system, and the Title V report that I'm reading is actually what maybe it's 2008. And when I look at this report, this looks like a very good Title V report.
Yes, so I'm not sure what information you would like me to provide to you, but if I could make it very brief, basically we purchased this property at 44 Morgan Street in December of last year, 2023. We established occupancy in mid-January, and in mid-April we started observing a failure of some sort with the septic system and reached out to Greg with Granby Septic. And he came out and assessed and basically advised us that we were having overflow at the location of the distribution box. Greg actually was very interested in this because he had also bought this property in the spring of 2019 when the previous owner was experiencing the same issues. This was something that was just a courtesy visit. Greg advised me that basically he doesn't have a record of it, but he remembered the visit very specifically, and it was something that kind of made him scratch his head and was in the back of his mind. So after that, he hadn't heard anything, but had actually received a call in the spring of 2023 from the previous owner requesting information for a septic engineer. So that kind of leads me to believe that the system had an underlying issue, and that issue was ongoing. And leading up to listing the property, the previous owner, maybe wanted to get that dealt with. To the best of my knowledge, to the best of Greg's knowledge, nothing was done about it. The home was listed for sale in the fall of last year. We went under contract in October. The Title V was conducted in November by Clean Septics and observed by Lee. And yeah, what you said is absolutely true. That the report indicates kind of no issues. But and this is something that I'm hoping Lee can clarify, because per Greg, he met with him at a recent inspection in Granby and sort of just talked over the issue. And per Greg, to Lee's recollection, he wasn't aware at the time of inspection that it was a pump transfer system, and that the operation of the pump and the pump alarm was not tested as part of the Title V, at least what he was observing. So Lee, if you wouldn't mind, could you clarify that if indeed you did observe the pump operating during the Title V inspection?
Before we go any further than this, we need to understand that Title V is not a very strong inspection system in the state of Massachusetts. The Board of Health does not even have to be there. Our town requires it, but the Board of Health doesn't have to even be at this inspection. And the actual inspection criteria is essentially saying the system hasn't been flooded. The inspector's supposed to make sure it hasn't been flooded, that it's not below the water table, that the individual pieces, the tank and the distribution boxes, aren't rotted away, and it's not below the water table, and it's not too close to your well. Those are really, now in our town, we've got a couple other criteria that they were going to make the system be replaced, or parts of it be replaced, if the tank isn't a 1,500 gallon tank, and if the bottom of the leach field is not at least 3 feet above the water table. And those are the two criterion. We do have another one on shallow wells with high loading that we make water be tested and the system be checked to make sure there's not a nitrogen contamination, nitrate contamination problem. But as you get into this, the Board of Health, according to Title V, doesn't pass judgment on the system. The Board of Health merely receives a copy of the report within 30 days of the time of the test. So as you go in, Lee, this is not a Board of Health issue. This ends up being very much a civil issue, that if you've got somebody that's known, an owner or a real estate or both agent that knows that they've got a problem with the septic system, I think you'll find that the courts say just passing a Title V when you know your system's in trouble and not disclosing it becomes a civil violation that has costs associated, with cost of repair and penalties associated. But this is not, it's not going to end up being a Board of Health issue. So you have limited time that you can talk, but questioning Lee and saying, Lee, how come you didn't do this, or why didn't you do that, or did you? That's an issue. If you want Lee to end up going into court, you can have him as a witness. But this test was paid for and conducted by the owner.
Sure.
So
And I certainly don't want to come across as being accusatory. I'm mostly trying to collect information here because it does seem like this, if indeed we do need to replace the drain field, it will not be an inconsequential amount of money. So I'm hoping just to kind of get clarity if Granby Board of Health does observe the entirety of the Title V inspection that's conducted by contractors, or if it's a partial observation. If indeed we have to get to litigation, which I have no interest in, but it may come to that. I'm just curious what portion of the actual physical inspection was observed by Granby Board of Health.
do you just, in 3 sentences or less, Lee, do you recall what you observed?
Well, yes, we uncovered the distribution box was uncovered prior to my arrival, and the covers were off the septic tank. The liquid levels were good in those two components. Those were the only two components that were exposed and observed at that time. The realtor
Okay.
was there, along with some representatives from a septic company in Ludlow doing the Title V. And we spent a little bit of time figuring out to make sure that we had a 3-foot groundwater separation between the bottom of the system and the groundwater, which we determined from the notes from the installation and some measurements that we were well above that 3-foot criteria, because the town recently, prior to that Title V, had in fact mandated a 36-inch separation. So that part was good.
Okay, very good. I appreciate all the information you're able to provide, and frankly, I appreciate that Granby Board of Health kind of goes above and beyond a standard Title V and does, witness the inspection. So I suppose in the long run, I'll probably reach out, regardless of how we proceed, if I do need any further intervention from Granby Board of Health.
Can I ask you, Mr. Volkman, in the spring, you were living there full time as well, and this issue didn't occur until you were there for 4 or 5 months. Is that accurate?
3 months, correct.
3 months, and then it slowed down or stopped working or something.
Basically, at that point, we began to have consistent flooding at the location of the distribution box when the pump actuates.
If I were, for
Okay.
what it's worth, and my experience is, unless someone really has wiped out the leach field because they've put bad stuff into it, pump systems, modern pump systems, because they dose, they put a lot of water in and then it dries out, lasts a really, really long time. The pump may not, but the system. If I were to guess, especially when you say, gee, this comes out at the distribution box, the place that it should come out, if you've got a leach field that doesn't work, should be if there are vents at the end of the lines, which are supposed to be, if you've got a pump and you've got a closed distribution box and open vents, that's where they should be blowing out. I would be looking and say, is this a leach field that doesn't have vents at the end? And what's actually happening is your water is pressurizing the air that's in your leach field if it's got a pretty tight soil cover on it. And in fact, is the liquid unable to get out into your leach field because somebody took the vents out and you're airbound. And then what happens is, since the liquid can't go anyplace, then it blows the cover off of your distribution box. But that's my 2 cents worth.
Sure. And I did consult with Greg from Granby Septic, and he advised that I have someone come run a scope through the distribution box, and then to the it's an infiltrator style system. So I had that completed, and the gentleman who scoped it, I forget his name. It was, I think, John with something septic service or sewer service. He said there was standing water in each of the bays of the infiltrator tank. So it may be that there's an issue with venting, but we certainly have an issue with draining into the subsoil as well.
Dick, just a comment. I'm looking at the plan set, and on the design sketch, there's a little detail that says proposed vent. So this system is supposed to have a vent.
Yeah.
Would that be the sort of candy cane PVC vent in the front yard?
Typically, yes.
Yes, and we do have that present. I have not had that inspected.
Certainly, the answer, if it were us, if you came to us and said, what should I be doing now? It would be to get someone in here, an engineer, and say, let's dig some holes and see if in fact the system is plugged up by the bottom. Infiltrators can be lousy systems at times. I've seen them plug up on their edges, and little black lines that if you look at them, they look like little Quonset huts, and they've got little tiny little slits, and they're not required to have stone around them. And that I've seen them that you get these little areas, little lines that are about 4 inches long and a half inch wide outside of each one of those slits that plug up. And it's possible that's what you're looking
And the
at.
other thing to note is that system, I believe, is a bed configuration, Dick, and it is not intended for traffic. You cannot drive vehicles over the system. You'll flatten them right out. And hopefully,
So anyways, it would be the best thing is before you do, actually, if you end up doing litigation and finding out what's wrong is the first part. But again, if you have information that said someone knew the system was bad and they just tried to sneak it by a Title V inspection, they still, if they don't disclose that, I think you'll find that the courts, and especially if the real estate agent had any inkling that was going on, the system is not merciful on real estate agents that don't disclose.
Okay. And I have no prior experience with septic systems, so I truly appreciate you guys kind of talking me through how the system operates and what my recourse may be. It is certainly appreciated on my end.
Okay. So I hope we help you and have a good night.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Okay. Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye, thank you.
Thank you.
So our next, let's move through. The next one is inspection report, Title V inspection reports. We have 114 Maximilian Drive, Greg Everson passes. That's a, Lee, that looks, essentially that's a modern system designed to 5-foot separation. So that, it doesn't surprise me that that passes. Was it okay?
Yeah, it was fine, deep, but working, no component issues, all good.
So, Bill, are you okay just accepting that one?
Of course, yeah, of course.
The next one is 25 Cold Hill Drive. That one's a fail. When you read it, it might be a 60-year-old system with clay pipes. It's underwater. The tank is rotted away. The D-box is rotted away. It's a out and out fail in every part of it. Are we okay accepting that?
It's a failure, yes.
Yes.
Okay. So Colleen, we did that. The
Okay,
next one is 201 Amher Street. Alan Weiss was a pass. That's a new system that is a Title V system that I didn't look at the age, but I don't think it's 5 years old. And it
No,
passed.
I don't believe it is.
So it's.
Yeah.
Are you okay? Is that okay, Lee?
Yes, thank you.
And Bill, are you okay with that one?
Yeah, I'm good, Dick. Yep. I'll be back in a couple minutes. Just keep going.
So that's,
okay,
we've
Okay.
got a couple things that you sent out, Colleen, I didn't write down that aren't on this list.
okay.
I guess you just sent it out and it's not on the list, so it won't make it tonight. But there's a letter to the proposed letter to Griswold Circle residents that Colleen sent out to us. Are we okay with that?
Yes, I think that's fine. Yep.
I am, Colleen. Bill, did you have a chance to review it?
Oh, Bill wrote the letter.
Oh,
Bill
he
wrote
wrote the
the-
letter. Okay.
Yeah, he wrote the letter,
Oh.
so he reviewed it. Yeah, do you guys, do you want me to sign it for the board or sign it for
Sure.
Bill or what?
You
I'll
can sign it for the board.
board. Okay. I'll put everybody's name on it. Okay.
Next one is they emailed residents the Mountain View Drive, Belchertown. I'm gonna wait. Hopefully Bill just walked away to go to the bathroom or something. I see his empty chair. I'm hoping he didn't slide under his desk. And
He said he'd be right back.
so we'll come back to that one.
Okay. What about the complaint? Because this woman called a couple of times about a mattress that's been laying on a front lawn on School Street for, I guess, quite a long time. I don't know if anybody had gone out there or, you know.
Bill, or Lee, have you gone out to see this one?
I haven't. I got a call at work a week ago telling me it was going to be taken care of. I don't even know who was on the phone, to tell you the truth. But there's only, this is the only one I'm aware of. So I'm not sure how recent the call was, but I guess someone should take a ride by School Street and see what's going on with this thing. It's been going on for quite a spell.
Long time, yeah.
You gone by any chance on 23 School Street to see the mattress on the lawn? I'm not sure Bill hears us.
No, go ahead, Dick. Excuse me. What would you say?
I said, have you by any chance gone on to 23 School Street to see the mattress on the lawn?
No, I was at 23 school, I don't know, a month ago. They had a problem with a beaver dam and a culvert, but I did not see any other issues on that property.
But Lee, you said
This would
that
have been
they
the
told,
adjoining piece, right? Yeah, somebody called the store, I don't know who it was, and said, I'm calling in reference to the mattress. I'm gonna take care of it.
A mattress on a lawn?
Yeah. It's been there.
Did
5
Dave DeRocher take care of it?
I don't know how that time works, Phil.
Yeah, in the olden days, the highway department would just take care of that when we had the landfill, but we have no landfill now. That's the problem.
and it won't
That's
take care.
probably, that's the whole issue.
They
get
don't
rid of
take
it.
care of it if you put it there yourself, though.
Well,
If it's
no.
your mattress that you throw on your grass, the highway department.
No, but I mean, is someone asserting that a passerby threw the mattress onto their property?
I believe this is a neighbor who is, has to look at it or drive by on a daily basis. Something of that nature, I think is what's going on there.
Can someone, so we don't have to go 2 weeks. Can someone go take a look at it? And if it's still
I'll drive
there,
by. You know, the curious thing is if you want to dispose of a mattress via a mattress store on a new purchase, I think the I think they're charging close to $100 to take those things away now. It's not cheap.
and there aren't any good places to get rid of it.
That's right. You have to
They
go
made
to,
it so that they can't go in landfills.
that's
And
right.
one of these things that the state says, oh, you can't do that, but
That's right.
there's no other way to do it. So it ends up being in the woods someplace.
Right. So you have to either go to Pierways or Bedding Barn or whomever sells mattresses, buy a new mattress, and they'll take the old mattress for $100. That's the way that works. But you're right. They make it extremely difficult to get rid of. That's exactly right. But I'll check it out.
Well, if that's the case, if you're going to take it, can we then let you, Lee, can we let Bill just get in touch with Colleen if he sees it and write a letter saying you just can't, you can't dispose of waste like that on your property and that you're required, especially if the person said they're going to get rid of it, just give them a time frame, give them till the 1st of June or whatever, and whatever you think is appropriate, Bill, and let Bill and Colleen deal with it. Are you okay with that, Lee?
Absolutely.
Because otherwise we end up sitting on this for 2 more weeks.
Oh, I know. There's a couple of practical ways to get rid of this legally. One is if they have Granby trash pickup on whatever day they have, and it fits, if they have a piece of mattress that fits in the 40-gallon barrel, believe it or not, they can cut up the mattress into small pieces and put it into the barrel piecemeal. Believe it or not. A lot of work though to cut up a mattress. Yeah, if it's a foam mattress, trying to cut it with a chainsaw is going to be a pain in the neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the solution in my way of thinking. You know, no expense solution, and in a couple of weeks, it's completely taken care of.
Yeah,
No one spends a dime, and everybody's happy.
that's right. That's right.
But you're
You
right.
know,
One of the things we could do is talk to the selectmen and see if they can modify their contract to say twice a year they're gonna, that as part of the fee that the town pays, that it's like, instead of hazardous waste, it's bulk waste, and say 2 times a year, you put them in this spot and we'll get rid of them.
people would be very grateful for that, Dick. That would be a great service, believe me.
They have
Oh,
a,
yeah,
You want-
they have a bulky waste day, right? But it's, you have to bring the stuff, and not sure exactly what they take over to the highway department. They do have a bulky waste day.
Can you find out what that is, Colleen, so we can see if
Yeah.
because it would be even more wonderful if they had a spot at the highway department that allowed you to put the stuff there, so that at the once a year they just get picked up. They put a big bin or something that this stuff goes into.
Yeah,
And then
they do
people-
a day. Yep. But
Because if
Yeah.
we think about it,
They
they
do
tell us
guys
that
that-
we should replace mattresses every 10 years. So every one of us is going to deal with every 10 years this problem.
That's
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm overdue for this whole thing.
Okay, if you can do that.
Yep.
I know one of the things that happened out on Forge Pond Road. Colleen sent out a note from Alexander or I forget what the name is.
Oh,
But I don't
Palmareva,
think,
Palmareva.
I
Yeah,
don't think what we got for information is what we required at all. And all we did is, that was a well that was a contaminated well. And they were supposed to get a well guy to do it, find out what was the cause, to get the thing straightened out. We didn't know if there's a casing in there. We didn't know anything about that lot. And all that's happened is the owner is sent in a water sample and saying, okay, I fixed it. There's no more bacteria. That's what I was supposed to do, right? And I don't think that's right at all.
Right. If there's
And
no
just
chain of
sending out,
command
we
on
don't know
this
what
thing.
they did to fix it. We don't know who fixed it. We don't know anything.
Well, certainly if there was a repair, they have to have a license to do such. And I think if I read it correctly, there was just E. coli and coliform test results.
hmm
Right.
mhm.
But our
So
request.
you have
was-
no idea what went on there, Lee.
No. No, not a word. Other than what I just read on the email, at the end of my day today.
Yeah, I'm reading it right now. Collected by Adam Mathewson. Now, is that the owner?
I don't
I
know.
don't have any idea.
Nobody knows anything.
No.
Yeah,
And
that's
you
not
wonder
Palmareva. Yeah,
how
that's a
was it
different
collected?
location.
Colleen, that we should get back and say it does not comply. We don't know what
Right.
was the result of the repair of the well. What was it found? How was it? Who knows? There's no house there that, as far as I know. So I don't even know how this sample was taken.
Right.
So do you want a statement from the well guy that did it and everything?
Say, what did they do? What was the work that they did? What did they find? What was the
Yeah.
source of the contamination?
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole bunch of stuff that says you have a bad well there, and just furnishing one test doesn't comply with what we want.
Mm-hmm.
Because we talked about maybe that well needed to be replaced.
Mm-hmm.
At one time, that's correct. That was the conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll find out.
Another thing that happened before we get to the Mountain View is, I did on Ken Lane. I've a couple different times I've gone down there. It looks, there's still water in the street, water running. The 4-inch pipe that comes out of the cellar is, I've seen flowing. It must be a good sized pump. Um, Also, the so-called pond that's on Mr. Gasberry's land, I have not seen water in it. I didn't get out of the car, so I don't know what the water situation is in the back of 1210 Lane, but it didn't, from what I could see, it didn't look like there was water back there. But I did talk to Chris Martin, and Chris was going to talk to Dave DeRocher about the possibility of a pressured system, collection system for that end of the street. And he didn't get back to me, but he said he was going to, look at uh, some kind of a solution. But I did offer that Bill, that you've got, that I've got some expertise, that we certainly should be able to design simple little pipe with some, stab ends that let, 4 houses or something get into a pressure dosing system. But I don't have any idea what the head is that we're working with, that, I'm guessing that the level of the brook is 3 feet lower than the level of the road. So we've got some head that's available to us. But I don't have a definitive answer.
But
I
it-
did,
but
and this
it-
leads into the Mountain View Drive situation, that Chris did send, actually sent something out, I think. I don't know if everybody got it, but he said that the plan is that the select boards are working together, the of the 2 towns, the attorneys are working together. You've got now the district attorney involved, and that ultimately Chris thought the 2 boards of health might be asked to be involved, but at this time not. They weren't ready for that. But they are actively moving forward with a solution to that. But there's also a thing that is around that I don't know, was it a general distribution from Chris to Bill and Lee? Did you get any note on the status of the range? There's apparently there's a new president of that club, but also that the club has done some kind of an investigation that concluded that they weren't responsible for the bullet.
Yeah,
However,
that was in the Gazette last Friday.
okay.
That's correct.
However, they're not, on the letter that I saw, they said that there is no rifle discharging on that range right now until this moves forward. So,
It seems to have been, again, normally I can hear activity at my house very, very faintly during the day. I've heard nothing from that range in the past week, so that's consistent with that observation, Dick.
wow,
Yeah.
wow.
So apparently they're holding pat until they come up with something really definitive.
So from my standpoint, I guess I'm feeling that what we said at the last meeting still holds. If Colleen's got to answer to someone as a courtesy to say that, just that we said that that's our understanding, that the boards of the selectmen and the their legal teams, the 2 towns legal teams, are working together, and that they felt that our advice from our town manager is that it was not yet appropriate to get the boards of health involved. Is that the way, Lee and Bill, that you feel that's what we said 2 weeks ago? Do
That's what we
still
said
have
2
that?
weeks ago, yes.
So,
I mean, I, at this point, I don't know that we can bring anything of any value, either to the selectmen of either town, the district attorney, you know, this type of, data is not in any of our backgrounds, so I don't know how we can help.
my feeling is with the proper counsel, and you'd need the counsel because it can end up in huge litigation. Is the Board of Health could possibly, go after the safety part of that, but it should be all part of a master plan. And that shouldn't be a tactic that our board just takes and said, okay, we're gonna blow this whole thing wide open without being part of a plan that says this is how these pieces fit together. And we're not in that loop right now. And especially if you looked and said what is the goal, if you had shooting going and saying, boy, people are gonna have a chance of getting killed, but if the shooting is stopped, then it seems appropriate to let the legal courses run the way they need to run.
Dick,
I don't
do you know
Bill.
whether or not the homeowners have retained counsel?
I don't know that. I don't know that. It was through, loose and unsubstantiated conversations, which are terrible, hearsay kind of things that I heard is that two things. That boards of health haven't been successful in the state in fighting it from the Board of Health standpoint, but that homeowners in one or two towns had been successful from a civil standpoint of hiring lawyers and saying that, a couple different gun ranges because of the design made it so the houses weren't safe to live in. And so they went after it from a civil standpoint and said, look, this isn't a fair thing, that we shouldn't be subject to that. And we don't even have to prove the fact that the thing has happened, makes it so we don't have to prove those bullets came, but the fact that they can makes it so that reasonable people would be afraid to be living in that situation. And what I heard, again, loosely, is that the judge ended up putting a temporary injunction saying that they couldn't fight, they couldn't shoot, and then came back and said, no, there is no safe solution, and you can't do it. You can't shoot
Dick, was that in Massachusetts?
in Massachusetts.
Okay, because
And
I've heard similar in other states in the country where large awards have been awarded to plaintiffs on this, but not in
this one is,
Massachusetts.
I can't remember what the town Reading or North Reading, but it's towns that one or two towns in the northeast section of the state. That again is hearsay kind of stuff, and I can't even remember the person that told me. So, but the person that as I recalled when I heard it, it was something that I said, this doesn't sound like fake information. This sounds like this is not disinformation. This sounds like it's real. But I haven't looked into it, and certainly my guess would be that the lawyers and the select boards could be looking at that, but those are definitely not Board of Health issues. Those are civil issues.
Right, right. Again, my source is a very reliable source in the state of Michigan, and I'll just leave it at that for now. But again, it was a civil issue, not a health department issue. That's the bottom line.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're still, from Colleen, our standpoint is that the board is saying it's not time for us to be involved with the effort that we know is going on between town managers, the town boards of selection, town legal councils, all working together with local and state police and districts attorneys, that that it's not appropriate for the board to be taking a lead on this right now,
Okay,
especially with the gun club agreeing not to be discharging firearms on that range. So the ones we've avoided right now are the regulations discussion and also Dollar General 4-base. Dollar General is going to be coming. We're going to end up with. It's interesting that when I've driven by, although I haven't driven by and looked.
I went by it. I went by it today, Dick. It was still leaking. Water was still coming out of the pipe.
It was.
Yes.
The last time I looked at it, the water was coming out, and I'd have to go and actually look at cross-sectional areas. The last time I did it, I actually tried to guess at how many feet a second it was moving, and trying to look at the size of the pipe and the cross-sectional area, and just to wing it. Well, it gets better than winging it, but
Dick, just show up with a 5-gallon pail and see how long it takes to load the pail
well,
up.
you certainly could do that. If you can climb, you'd have to get inside the fence to do it. That's a very practical way to do it. So, but we're going to find out that it. What?
A local contractor was working in some type of electrical box or something underground, and the water was flowing through conduit containing the wires into this pit, and the pump had failed because it couldn't keep up with the amount of water coming in. I don't know the source. I mean, groundwater, of course, but I don't know how it would get into an electrical conduit and flood the service. There must be something underground there or underneath the floor, which was flooding.
I mean, in this building, in that building.
Yeah,
Huh.
at Dollar General. I don't know if the electrical inspector was made aware of it or has done an inspection of such.
Like you say, a lot of water coming off that hill.
Oh, yeah.
The pump lead that I know of that is underground there is only the septic system.
Okay.
The rest of that place is flowing by gravity.
Okay. I'm not sure.
And there's a double pump there with controls.
Okay. So going forward, we have no communication with the engineering team whatsoever from this corporation, I believe, on this.
It's been over almost 2 years. It's been going on nearly 2 years. Last communication I had with them, I think, was a year and a half ago.
Yeah, that they were going to give you a Gantt chart or a milestone chart.
Well, yeah, well, we put a Gantt chart together. We sent it to them. Everyone said fine, and nothing ever happened.
Right.
Well, from what I've been reading in different towns and different states, this corporation is apparently more than happy to take a town to court to force a location to be approved and open. And at that point, whatever happens is, profitable for the store, and the town is a second nature. I
We-
don't know that we're going to get these guys to do anything.
Do we now go to Brian and say, we need your help? This is beyond the point of having engineers work with each other to get this done. This is the guys from my view, it sounds like yours too, Lee, and maybe yours, Bill, is that we've gone beyond the win-win with these people. That they don't even try to keep us happy. They just don't, they won't even talk. Do we just go to Brian and say, okay, tell us what we do with the goal of, I guess, talk to them about whether we can shut them down.
Well, that's it. You don't like to do linkage, but you might have to do linkage if it's appropriate and deny them their permit next time around till they fix
Yeah.
this.
Is this something possibly DEP in Springfield would support our efforts?
Oh, I think DEP Springfield wants to stay out of all local matters. That's their new policy.
Okay.
They don't have the horsepower to get involved unless it's a real critical situation. If there's a hazardous waste spill, yes, but something like this, they wouldn't get involved.
They
with.
don't want it. They don't
No.
want it. Okay.
No.
Yeah. All right.
But thanks for
So my-
inquiring. Yeah.
I know what you can do and make it so that everybody starts to get the DEP involved, is connecting that pipe. Let's face it, the bottoms are all blinded over anyways. Things aren't leaching for beans anyways. So what we've got is water coming in, not going through the bottom and going out that overflow. So if that's the case, run that main drain directly over to the overflow, fill everything up with impervious material up to make a channel going through there, and put a little stream that goes right to that overflow and gets off the property and goes into the swamp across the street and down the brook. And we get rid of the two big ponds, and then the state can get themselves in all the trouble they want, because part of this problem is when they put the road bed across there, they got rid of the natural path for the water to come off that hill and get to the swamp anyways. They put a dam across there without any drainage to let it go through.
If that happens, Dick, then it becomes a conservation issue. And then the new owners of the Chateau Harmony end up getting in hot water.
Well, it's not. This goes beyond the Chateau. It's on the other side, I think. Because it goes into it actually drains, Bill, into the road catch basin.
Yeah. Oh, it hits the catch basin on the north side of the street?
It's on the street is, I think there is going basically east-west. So it's on the south side. It's on the south side of the street.
Okay. Well, we gotta take a look at that, a little more detailed.
Do you want me to call Brian up and ask him?
Yeah, yes.
Say this has gone crazy. It's on our agenda every week, every 2 weeks, I mean.
I'm guessing Brian's gonna say Chris doesn't want to spend the money on legal fees, but ask him anyway.
Yeah. If you go long enough, the silt is gonna go into those 2 catch basins. It's gonna do what I said it wants to do anyway. It's gonna fill up with silt and then run across and go out that pipe.
Call Brian, see what he has to say.
Yeah.
Here's my question. When they reapply for, common victor's license or retail food permit or whatever they reapply for, is there any such stipulation that, it can be denied based upon the fact that, their original permitting process was never, completed due to this issue?
It was, that's the problem. The planning board signed off on this one.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so we're done. Okay.
I think Brian can at least tell us what we can do. I would certainly be leaning towards the direction if we put them, if we had them under orders to do something and they didn't comply, then you could say, look, you're under orders to fix the problem, and we're not gonna let you sell stuff because you won't fix your problem.
Well, that's where I was heading. That's correct.
Right. But I think we have to look at Brian. I'm guessing that Brian's gonna say, whoa, how do you link those 2 together?
Yeah, he's gonna be very hesitant to link them, but you can ask him anyway.
Yeah. But he has to have some, well, he doesn't have to have something. He could tell me, too bad. Stop worrying about it. Take it off your agenda and let the mosquitoes breathe. But
Possible.
he could, in fact, say, why are you guys complaining about these 2 basins that are 50 feet in diameter when you cross the street and you have a swamp that's 400 acres big, that the mosquitoes are going to be inconsequential. As long as it would,
Because nobody lives in the vicinity of the 400-acre swamp, but you've got patrons in the parking lot of Dollar General every day, hundreds
yeah,
of patrons.
that part is true. That if you look at the freshwater mosquito only flies, it's a little number. It's like 100 feet.
Right.
They don't go far. The saltwater mosquito flies like 2 miles. But
Okay.
but I'll make myself a note and I will contact Brian.
Okay. Very good.
All right.
Glad we're following up.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
Well, yeah, there is. And tonight, once again, I'm tired. But we've still got our issue that's been hanging on. That's our regulations, our own regulations.
Colleen, have you sent me the updated version of all the proposed language on the regulations?
I've sent you the regulations that, yeah, we have.
At least 2 times. At least 2 times, and it's at least 2 months ago.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I haven't had time to review them.
Let's
Ollie,
try
can I
to
get
do that before the next. I'm not ready to review them tonight. I was
Right.
hoping you guys would be saying, we've redone that, says we already know what we want, and I was gonna say, good, I'll go along with that.
Well,
But
how about, Colleen, can I get a copy of those so that in 2 weeks from now, we can all just hit this thing and bury it?
Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
trying to find it in my emails as we speak here. I'm having trouble finding them.
I'm telling you, you better look at months that have a 1 or a 2, like January or February, and then you'll find another one that has a month that's got like a 9 or a 10.
We were
Colleen,
thinking about that.
Colleen, what did you title the PDF transmission?
Probably Board of Health regulations, maybe. I
But
don't know.
since we're all being lazy, Colleen, why don't we give you an assignment again?
I'll send them again.
Thank
Um,
you.
Yeah, if you wouldn't,
What
if you wouldn't
about,
mind.
oh, okay.
I apologize. Thank you.
That's okay. That's all right. I'll send them again. Let's see. I got an email from a fellow who wants to extend his permit. His septic permit was expired in February though.
No, Jason Smeagol over on Chicopee Street.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I told him
My
he
house
was
is up.
past the expired, permit date, which is what the regulations say, but what do you guys say?
I would
House is
offer,
framed, the well's in.
yeah,
So we're-
I would offer, Lee, if you're talking, go ahead, you give your opinion.
No, that's just my observation. I know that David LaPlante was framing with him. They got caught in the middle of the lumber price spike. He had a baby, etc. Ran out of time, and the expenses went way past their estimation. So he's halfway there, but he's just stuck right now with no money. And a house halfway done, and the SAS was not installed yet.
I'd offer that this is so close to the two that we did act on that were so similar on South Street by Bill and also on Bachelor Street were the same situation about missing the 3 years, but doing it beyond. And what we said is those really were extenuating circumstances. That is definitely not the same as the one on Burnett Road where they just didn't do any work. They just put fill on the property and there wasn't even Title V fill, it was just filling and wanted an extension. This is, in these cases, not the same, that they're doing the construction and they got delayed. And we said it didn't matter that they didn't apply in time. The issue is the 3 years, and then adding the 1 year to the 3 years. And in both of those cases, we said, yep, we're going to grant the extension, but you have to have the system completed by the 4 years from the time the system was approved, period. There is no extension after that. That's what we said in those two cases. Bill and Lee, what do you think?
I think that's more than reasonable.
Bill, you're looking very pensive there.
Oh, no. No,
He's still looking for Colleen's regulation email.
yeah, no, actually, I found them. Just to jump around, I found something dated February 18th, 1998. Is that the only page you sent out of proposed regulations?
There were, let's see.
It's February 18th, 1998, Board of Health Septic Inspection Policy Changes.
Was the
And that was on-
circulation?
And
Yeah,
that
there was
on
a
the
bunch
board.
of different ones. There were different ones.
Oh, there were, okay. Yeah, all right.
1998. Yeah, there were several
Oh,
different.
so there were more than this single page then, okay.
Oh, yeah, it was, yep.
Okay,
It was
okay.
in Yeah, there was more than that. There was like
Okay,
5 of them maybe, or.
all right. And that came through as a Word file. I was looking for a PDF. It came through as a Word file. Okay,
Yeah, I sent them all Word, I think, but this one, yeah. So I don't even
okay,
have.
no worries. I'll find them. Okay, thank you. Dick, if you'd be so kind, I'm getting tired too. Could you reiterate what you were asking us to consider?
What I was suggesting is that in this case, we've made, we had a precedent within the last year on 2 other situations that were, well, I think they're close enough to make it a precedent for this one. That because of, and we said, because of the unique financial and building environment, that the previous 2 people had actually started in some way moving forward with the construction of the house, with the construction of the property, of the system, but had made substantial movement towards completing the building process. And he got into a spot that before they realized that there was a 3-year clock, their clock ran out, which put them in a technical violation of not asking for the extension before the clock ran out. And what we said is that that was a technicality. The intent of the law was that you were allowed, if there were extenuating circumstances, you were allowed up to, but not beyond 4 years, not 3 years. And the Board of Health could say, we are in fact going to grant you the extension to 4 years from the time of the approval of the permit. But according to the regulations, and the board is going to follow it, that is it. That it has to be completed with a sign off by the board by the 4 years. And if it's not, then the permit is void. And that's what we said on those other 2.
Okay, and the other 2, one was the new 69 South Street, which is up the street from me, that
Yeah.
house, and the second was Ashley Bowman's house, which was
It was
Tom
like-
Halleck's daughter on the lake, on Alders Lake.
Yeah, it was like lot 6 of
Yeah,
of
okay,
Kid Oliver's
okay.
Lake.
Okay, I'm good with that, Dick. That's fine.
Lee, what is your thought?
No, I would agree. I think that's more than fair for all parties concerned.
Okay, Colleen, that's what we're doing. But they
Okay,
have to understand, this now is gonna move into the Board of Health doesn't have the ability to go beyond the 4 years.
yep,
So it has to be completed by the 4 years or their permit is void.
okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
Are you guys ready to go someplace else besides this?
Yeah,
Colleen, are you gonna let us go to bed?
I
Yes.
second that. I second that motion. We're all tired.
Yes.
Okay. Lee, are you ready to give it up for tonight?
Absolutely,
Okay, I'm gonna shut you all off.
absolutely.
Have
Okay.
a good night.
Good night. You too.
Take it easy, everyone. Thank you. All the best. Okay,
Okay.
bye.